This conference will now be recorded.
bring that to everybody's attention. And it also is pointed out in our code of ethics under paragraph 16, basically saying the same thing. So, does anybody have anything else that they've seen in the code of ethics that we?
No, Cardi, I concur with you on that section that you just read. I know in the 4 years that I've been on so far, whenever I've had a question, I try to direct it to Mr. Weekly, our administrator, first. Sometimes I'll email someone directly if I'm just asking for some information, but I am careful to not, both in the compliance with that provision and also with the concept of chain of command leadership, I would not ever override or go directly to a county employee over Mr. Weekly's head for anything other than it was an extreme legal breach. But otherwise, I think that for the cohesive and effective operation of the county, the chain of command is very important, and I think it's worked very well. And Mr. Weekly or Mr. Gordon, in Mr. Weekly's absence, has always been very transparent and forthcoming of any issues. One of the things that I think we've dealt with well in the last 4 years is the fact that we've had some personnel issues that could have resulted in, had much poorer results if they had not been handled as well as they had by Mr. Weekly and his staff. So thank you, Mr. Weekly, for the way you do it, and I'm glad that you, Cardi, appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
Right, thank you, sir.
Yep, you've done a good job. Yep. Those issues can get a little tough. So what we have here is the resolution 2026-1 to adopt and effect an organizational plan for the Madison County Board of Supervisors for the period January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 calendar year. So could I get a motion to adopt said resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve 2026-1, running from January 26 to December 26.
I'll second.
Very well, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Very well, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. Thank you. Okay, consideration. Okay, committees, liaisons, and other appointments. Okay, so I'm gonna ask that Kim run, everybody's got this list in front of them. She put this list out so you could follow along and fill it in as we go down. So I'm gonna ask Kim to go line by line. And what I've done, and quite honestly, their bylaws in 3.1 says that states that the chairman of the board will assign, make these committee assignments with the concurrence of the rest of the board. So, in anticipation of this chairman nomination and election of me, I've gone through, I spent the last 2 or 3 weeks going through this. In many cases, it was, swapping out Nancy and Mike for Clay and Dustin. In other cases, quite frankly, I was trying to match some talents with the committee assignments. And I must say, Nancy, I personally, and I'm sure the rest of us, it's great to have a woman on the board again. It really is. A woman's perspective is needed. We haven't had that here, and we haven't had that down there in a while. So that could be some of my reason for some of these things. So with that, Kim will read it. I'll say what I've filled in here and ask for y'all's concurrence. And if you have no objection to it, we'll just move on. All right, Kim, would you take it from the top?
Absolutely. So for the Blue Ridge Cigarette Tax Board, Brian, Daniel, and Jonathan have served and are willing to serve again.
And I dittoed that, so I penciled both of them in to serve again. Oh, and then one other thing. So Hannon, when we get through all this liaisons and committee assignments, we can just do one motion to approve this as discussed. Is that fine? Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll wait till the end. All right.
Alrighty, then next we have the Blue Ridge Committee for Shenandoah National Park Relations. And we've had Bruce Bowman, James Ballard, and Judd Buchanan in the past. The only change is Mr. Ballard would like to come off, so you would have Bruce Bowman, and you'll see a star by John Powell, and that's because I have an application for him in the packet. He comes recommended from both Mr. Bowman and Mr. Ballard, and I put a dash anywhere there was a board member, so that is per you all's discussion.
So I have penciled in accepting John Mike Powell, who I think everybody knows, a local attorney and longtime Madison resident. And I have penciled in Judd to remain on that. Any objection? Very well. Hearing none.
Chairman, and I'm
Yes.
assuming you're also Bruce Bowman?
Oh,
as
yeah,
part-
Bruce Bowman.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, then next we have the Central Virginia Economic Development. Mr. Weekly served in that in the past, and he's willing to serve again.
Very well. I concur with that. Everybody with that? Good with that one? All right.
All right, Central Virginia Regional Jail, the reason you see that marked beside Mr. Weaver is because the sheriff of each locality is required to serve, and then Mr. Buchanan has served in the past, and that's open for your discussion.
So I penciled in Judd again. So you willing to do that again, Judd? Everybody okay with that? All right, so the sheriff and Judd again.
All right, then Community Policy Management Team. These members are to be determined. Normally, DSS lets me know who was appointed, and I let you know for your awareness, but you have a board member who serves on that team, and it was Dustin Dawson, and then waiting for your discussion on the board appointee.
Okay, I've penciled in Mike Snyder for that one.
Fine. Good, thank you.
All right.
Good,
Then-
okay.
And then Economic Development Committee. I'd like to point out that the committee did mention at their last meeting that they would like to retain the current membership and add that the Planning and Zoning Administrator be added to the membership. I put the required marks by the county staff because I believe when this committee was created, it was created based on position. So that's the people filling their role as their position. And Mr. Smith and Ms. Wilshire are both willing to serve again.
Okay, willing, so everybody's willing to serve again, it looks like, right? All right, so I've penciled in Jim and Judd since they're on there now, and I think continuity at this point is important, so if there's no objection to that, we'll stick with Jim and Judd. Yeah, okay.
All right, and then for Encompass Community Supports, Brittany Schenkel was currently on it, and she'd like to serve again.
Okay, I concur with that. Everybody all right with that one? All right,
All right, the Joint Capital Improvement Plan Committee is a meeting that the county has with the school, and Mr. Jackson and Mr. Real were in it in the past, and it's per your discussion.
okay, so I've penciled in Mike and myself, me continuing. Mike, I put him in there because he's had experience with construction type stuff, so, and that's what, capital improvement stuff is all about, so. That meets once a month, usually the first Wednesday of the month, about 5 o'clock, which we have time to do that and then get to the joint meeting with the Planning Commission. And I've tried to go through and make sure none of these conflict with time slots from other committees too. I could have messed it up, but
Look
Kim
at
will
me.
figure it out for me. All right, so
Alright.
Mike and myself.
All right, then you have the Madison Extension Council, that's with our local extension office. Mr. Jackson served in the past.
So I penciled in Mr. Jewett, the logical person on the board, farmer, to follow Clay. I don't know what their meeting
I don't think
is,
they
I don't-
meet
they
very
don't meet
often.
very often.
They don't, and I think it was as required. I can look it up if you'd like me to be. Let's see, I have quarterly at 6 PM listed.
All right, so you can do that, Jim? Yes, sir. Okay. All right, very good.
All right, the next one is Parks and Recreation Authority, and Mr. Jackson served on that, and Mr. Yao.
Okay, so I've penciled in, I talked to Clay, he is willing to stay on that. And so Clay Jackson and Mike Snyder for that.
I do have a question. I
Uh-huh.
think in the Parks and Rec bylaws, we're required to have 2 board members.
It has to be board members?
Yeah, I
Not
think so.
board rep. Okay. So. All right, so who else would like that? Meets on the third Wednesday of the month.
What time is it on Wednesday?
7 o'clock.
6:30 now, when time changes back.
Oh, yeah, it's 6:30 during the winter and 7 during the light months.
That's an important, sign,
Mm-hmm.
now with the renovation and the, upgrades to this facility
Yeah.
and all the things that go along with that.
Oh, you want to do that? You want to do that,
I can
Judd?
it if Nobody else wants it?
Okay, all right.
Now, can Clay still stay on as a member, Barney?
Yeah, I think he can. We could,
It depends on membership and bylaws of that committee.
yeah.
Right now it's full staff, but I understand there's at least one that wants to come off, so if
Okay.
that's the case, then.
Get Clay back on there. Yeah, because he's a, pretty important member of that committee. Okay. Uh-huh.
I can get my microphone to come on. I'll continue to read as you all go through your other ones. I'll try to find their bylaws, because I'm on the committee assignment page, and that, I need to make sure there's no conflicting, because it says, under member qualifications, bylaws suggest that one member of the authority must be a member of the Board of Supervisors. Members of the Board of Supervisors may be appointed to serve on the authority, but cannot comprise a majority. So let me find the bylaws, because this is, on our committee page, is saying something different. So please continue, Mr. Chairman. If I find something, I'll wait for the proper term to ask for a point of privilege to clarify that.
And I'm more than willing to back off. that
Yeah,
if that's
okay.
for them.
All right.
All together, all over.
What's that? On the third Wednesday?
It's the second Wednesday.
So, yeah, I'm
It's the
sorry.
second-
It's the second Wednesday. Yeah. Second. Thank you.
All right, would you like
Okay.
me to continue? And
Yeah,
we'll come back
we'll-
to that one.
All right.
Alrighty, so Piedmont Workforce Development,
Mm-hmm.
Annette Hyde currently serves on it, and she's willing to serve again, and Mr. Jewett's currently on
Okay.
there.
So I kept those the same. Is that good? All right.
All right, then we go down to PDRC, Preliminary Development Review Committee. I know you love the name of that. So everyone is willing to serve again. There are some required, and that's based on their positions. And then you had 2 board members who were serving on that. That was Mr. Yao and Mr. Dawson. Ready for your discussion?
Okay, so I've got, continued with Zach, Jamie, Alan, Steve Carpenter, Brian, Jonathan, Tracy, and now I'm putting Mike, and Nancy in there. And that, Nancy, I wanted to put you on there. That is really a great jumping off point when that's the first exposure the county gets to somebody that wants to do something, a special use permit or whatever, some land use thing. And they come in and they explain to the group what their idea is. And then the PDRC will ultimately recommend or not recommend that it go ahead and be forwarded to the Planning Commission. So it's a really good start. Yeah. And you end up learning a lot about, what our ordinances allow and don't allow and that sort of thing. So how is that Mike and Nancy on top of all the others? in there, all right? And that's at 9:30 on the first Tuesday of the month. Here.
And make sure that we are 9:30 because the sheet says 10.
Which committee was that?
PDRC.
Which sheet
Yeah,
says
that's
10?
an earlier start time. We don't start at 10. We start 9:30.
I'll confirm that's correct on the website and my document as well.
Okay.
Also, I feel like that's a great opportunity for me to throw out too. Being that you guys serve on these committees, a lot of times if there's a change, like they change the time or location or how often they meet, it's really helpful if you pass that along, and then I'll update what we have on our website in my track and form as well.
Okay.
Okay, so next we have RSA, which is Rapidan Service Authority. Currently, Mr. Jackson served on that as an alternate.
Yeah, so I've penciled in myself on that. I was on the RSA board for 3 years, I guess. So, and at this point, it's just an alternate because we've got Troy and Pete are our designees from the board, from the county. So I'm willing to be the alternate, which means Clay always went to the meetings. I'll always go. You know. Cool. All right.
All right, then Rappahannock Juvenile Detention Commission, you have Mr. Weekly was serving, and Miss Nan Coppage would go as an alternate on the days he was not able to make it, and they are both willing to do that again.
Okay, that's fine by me. Everybody else? All right.
All right, then the Rappahannock River Basin was Mr. Yao, and Mr. Weekly was alternate for that.
Yeah, I've penciled in Mike for that one and Jonathan as the alternate. And that's the opportunity to rub a lot of elbows with state senators and delegates and stuff. And a lot of the stuff, Jonathan, if you chime in, we're way up the Rapidan. I mean, the waterways for this, but still a lot of stuff will affect us. So you keep your ears open and, make with the howdy do's and, let them know who Madison County is and all that.
Yeah, it is a good opportunity. If you, sometimes people find this stuff dry, but they talk a lot about TMDLs for the Chesapeake Bay Watershed Act. That's kind of its primary purpose, and trying to restore and get impaired waters off that list of being impaired. But as Chairman stated, it is an opportunity. Usually you have lunch beforehand, so you have General Assembly members there. They often invite, like DEQ or other regulatory bodies. I think one year we went, I don't know if I had you come up at that time or not, but there was concerns about rain gauges, which gives us notice, but also people downstream like Fredericksburg, what happens here 2 hours later, that water is going that way. So I found it as a good committee, especially if you want to talk during lunch about other things that are going on in the General Assembly and kind of position Madison in a good way forward.
And the last meeting was heavy talk about data centers and stuff. Of course, the water issue, folds all into all that. So anyhow,
Yep, good.
I think, yeah.
The only thing you should forewarn, just be prepared to travel. You can be in Essex County, you could be here, you could be in Richmond, but still good.
That's good. Yep, thank you.
All right, then the next one is Rappahannock Rapidan Regional Commission. Currently, Mr. Weekly serves and Mr. Dawson served.
All right, so I've penciled in Jonathan to continue and me and myself on RRC.
All right,
Everybody concur? All right.
and then Brian could add more about this committee. This is the Regional Preparedness Advisory Committee for, interoperability. I don't know if I said that right. Apologize if I did not. Brian would like to serve again, and then instead of Gavin, it's my Monday today, guys. I'm struggling. Ashley Richards would fill instead of Gavin this year.
The RPAC is primarily a radio interoperability mechanism for the region. It died with COVID. We've been trying to get back off the ground for several years. Little or no luck, but that's the idea of it.
All right, so we'll keep those. They're willing to serve again. All right, what's the next one
All right,
here?
Skyline Community Action Partnership. And we've had Peter work in the past, and he's willing to serve again, and then
Yep.
we've had Mr. Jewett.
Yeah, well, I concur with Peter, and I was gonna, Nancy, because the next one for social services, Nancy, I've also got you on that one. I thought those two kind of, the issues will probably cross over a bunch. And the Skyline CAP Board meeting, since I work for them, is at 11 o'clock on the fourth Tuesday of the month, and it's all online, so you can sit at home and do it virtually.
That is a well-run organization.
Yeah.
You would really enjoy that. They know how to run stuff.
So what about the social services?
Okay, all right, so we concur with that one. All right, the social services, so I've got, what's that?
It was Judd.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was Judd, and
Excuse
now
me,
I've got
Ms.
Nancy on there. Judd, you want to
Yeah, you're gonna
tell?
love that board. They're like special people. It's really interesting to see just how they handle what's going on in the county, some of
Oh,
the
no, it's,
rougher things.
no, I was just,
Oh, so anyway, I'm gonna miss those folks. They're really good folks.
so when do they meet, Judd?
Oh, what's it say on here? You can look it up.
Yeah.
There's early morning meeting on, what day is it?
I currently have the fourth Tuesday of every other month at 8:30 a.m.
Here in town.
Right at their office.
Okay,
Time is that again?
8:30, yes, ma'am.
let's see. Did you, we have that information on one of our printouts up here,
Yes.
don't we?
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, right, we have it up here. So, yeah, to that issue, Nancy, what I've done is I went through, when I went through all of these, and I came out at the end, I've got the little summary, and I was trying to, not have somebody doing 8 and somebody doing 3, so I got pretty much everybody doing about 7 different committees. Oops, where am I? Okay, that was, so social services. Obviously, as things go along, and if they don't work out, we can adjust. But, okay,
Alrighty, and then next, we have the Thomas Jefferson EMS Council, which is in kind of a transition period, so I will figure out the new name of that one and get that updated. But currently, you had Dawson and Yao on there. Yao is an alternate.
yeah, I'm keeping myself as an alternate, and I put Judd on there, because I think there should be, in the long run, crossover with that in the fire department. Okay, so I thought that was a good match, and they don't meet very often either, I don't think, they weren't.
Kind of reinstituted.
Yeah.
Another council that merged with Thomas Jefferson. So we'll check with Chief Hillstrom and kind of get the lowdown on when those meetings may start back up.
Okay,
And I believe your OMD, our operating medical director, which holds the license that allows us to operate, I believe they may attend those as well. So it'd be a good opportunity to meet Dr. Burns. If whoever's appointed to that.
okay. All right, so Judd and myself then.
All right, and the Toppings Fund Committee still has a little bit of funds left in that, so we still have that committee. You have the staff that fall under those roles as required, and then 2 board members. It was Mr. Jackson and Mr. Dawson.
Okay, so I've put myself, Annette, Greg Cave, Jonathan Weekly, and then Cardi and Judd on that one, because I don't think that's very long for this world.
You have about, I think there's around $1,700 or $1,800. If you may recall, I pulled that off the agenda because Annette was still getting some quotes. So I believe that will come back sometime the next month or two.
Yeah.
When that was constituted, it was based on that funding. So when the funding ends, then that would sunset and the board would essentially dissolve that committee.
Okay,
And that meets as needed. I'll
Right.
reach out to you and schedule once there's a meeting needed.
It's a committee that recommends to the board.
To the board,
Board of
yeah.
Supervisors actually has to take action on the request.
okay.
Alrighty. And the next one is the Tourism Committee. You have 3 residents who are willing to serve again, and were serving previously on that one.
Okay, I'm willing to keep that as it is then. All right.
All right, now we're gonna go to the Circuit Court appointed committees. You don't have many that fall under this category, but the BZA, Board of Zoning Appeals, is one of these. When you have someone, their term expiring on this one, the BZA makes a recommendation to the board, and then the board makes a recommendation to the Circuit Court, and they appoint. So the BZA has seen this. Ms. Jessica Davis serves as an alternate. She was doing an unexpired term, and she would like to continue, and BZA recommends that she continues.
So we can concur with that, but does the circuit court then have to follow up? They have to concur?
They'll make the final appointment. Being through the last process, we've kind of streamlined this again, and where the BZA would really like to review or make recommendations to the board. So that's why we're bringing it to you at this approach versus just,
Okay.
make a decision without their input.
All righty.
All right, the next is board liaisons. There is a few that are required, and then a few that you all will discuss. These are all, for the most part, board roles. There are a few staff roles. The Director of Emergency Management is always the chairman, so now you've all appointed your chairman. That would be Chairman Yao. And Deputy Director of Emergency Management is Mr. Weekly.
So we keep Jonathan in that role, I'd say.
And there has been a slight change for the Coordinator of Emergency Management. It was Gavin, and now we have marked Brian Gordon for that role.
Okay, that's fine by me.
Okay?
You want to,
I'd just like to add real quick, and Brian can chime in as well. There's a structure, so we have an emergency operating plan. So that's why it's kind of by position, and then whoever's filling that position. So certainly, based on the decisions you make today, we can have a meeting and go through that. Please make a note as well. That's something that we should send out to all board members, so they have it. But there's certain roles, should a emergency be needed, of what's fulfilled. Similar to what we did with that October issue we had a couple of years ago. So don't feel like you're left out there. We'll give proper training and we'll circulate that EOP.
yeah, I think what I'd like to know, and what everybody probably want to know, is what would constitute an emergency? I mean, obviously the fire did. When does that kick in?
Anything that has the potential to expend our capabilities, which is almost anything.
Yeah, okay.
Historically, Madison, it's been flood type or rescues or fires.
We could have a large-scale hazmat out on 29. We have no capability to, in the long term, mediate that. That would declare an emergency.
I see, okay.
The main reason for declaring emergency is to open up money strings down the road. So
Who
the state-
determines that? Who determines the?
I would, I guess, yeah, with input.
We brief the chairman of the board first, and then that, if that emergency is declared, we have a standard form. We generally just update based on what the emergency is. That's signed, and then it has to be ratified by the Board of Supervisors at their following meeting. And that's historically how that works.
Okey-dokey.
All right, and then for the Deputy Coordinator is Mr. Wilkes.
That's fine. What's Jamie's background, Brian, that,
He's
That would-
he's retired from Norfolk Fire for many, many years as a tech rescue and among other multiple things. He's got a pretty strong background in it.
oh, okay,
And as a building official, he's also I shouldn't say on a lot of these, if there's structure fires and stuff like that, Jamie's called out anyway because he has to make a decision on condemnation or.
And if we ever had like a large-scale flood, he would be, the damage assessment part of that to see if we made threshold to be reimbursed would be a big part of that.
okay. All right, so Jamie? Okay, what's next, Kim?
All right, then we get into the ones with the board is representatives on. You have the Historic Society Liaison, which was Mr. Buchanan.
Yeah, I've got him continuing with that.
All right, then you have the Madison County Fire Department.
I've got Judd continuing with that again.
All right, then for the Madison Town Council Liaisons, you had Mr. Jackson, Mr. Dawson.
So I've penciled in Mike, Snyder, and Nancy. I figured, you know, Nancy taking Dustin's spot and Mike taking Clay's spot. And that is, it's a Thursday night. I
I
forget,
believe it's 6 o'clock, isn't it?
second Thursday in town right there. So basically what they want, they don't send anybody to our meetings regularly, which they probably should, but when I was going before Dustin being a townie, I thought that was appropriate that he would go. But so they just wanted, we give a report, Clay and I, or Dustin and Clay, we give a report to the town council about what's going on in the county of any significance, and whether it could or could not affect the town. And most of the time, most of it doesn't, but it's nice to fill them in on what's going on. Okay,
All right, then you have the Madison County School Board Liaisons, and that was Mr. Jackson and Mr. Yao.
so I've got Mr. Jewett and Jim and Nancy on that one. Now, that one can be done virtually as well. I mean, but Clay always went and I always did it from home. So we could have two of us there, which I think is good. We definitely got to have a face there. So one could go, one could do it virtually or whatever. I'll probably still want to listen, you know, from home, but
Well, I've gone to several of those meetings for the last, 4 years or so.
yeah, I mean, we don't care, we don't have a vote or anything during it, but it's just good for the school board to, sometimes they reach out and ask questions of you sitting out there, you know. So, okay, so Jim and Nancy, okay?
All right. Then next you have the Madison County Library Board, which Mr. Jewett was on that.
Yeah, I've switched that to Nancy, if you would like to do that. Like I said, you show up a bunch on this last page, but I promise, I tried to spread it all out. And especially now that they've gotten $267,000, that should, so one thing I don't know, Jim, is like that $267,000 that went to the library. Do you, as a member over there, have a say in, no, non-voting, just, okay,
But as a supervisor, you have an influential position because of the money they want to.
okay, yeah.
So but they are doing some great things. I know when I first went on, I was like, oh, you know, what, they probably don't do anything. But they support the local schools, they support the local homeschool community. I mean, they're always trying to stay, not only stay relevant, but stay impactful in the community. I was impressed with them.
Okay,
You'll enjoy working with
good.
them.
I was tracking that the library met quarterly at 7 p.m. at the library. Of course. Now, the next one would be the Planning Commission liaisons, and we had Mr. Jackson and Mr. Yao on those.
So I've put Mike in place of Clay, since Mike was coming off of the planning commission, and myself still on that one,
Good, thank you.
yeah.
All right, and then the Tourism Committee, we had Mr. Buchanan on it.
I kept that the same, yeah, all right.
And then for the Virginia Association of Counties, VACO, Mr. Jewett was the representative with Mr. Weekly being the alternate. And this is something that, there's lots of VACO events, but when you go to the VACO conference, this person represents your board.
Yeah, you will be the voting member for the Madison County Board of Supervisors.
All right, I kept that the same. I think Jim is the bulldog we need in there.
That is all I have on my list. I will say that, as I get information, I try to keep it updated on the website, but if you ever see anything, on there that isn't accurate, please let me know. But, this is, like I said, on the website for the public to see and for you to see. Some resources, like if I have bylaws for a committee, I'll put them on the website. So if you wanna read more about a new committee you're on, those should be up. Yes, sir.
The one, Criminal Justice Board, the one that Mr. Gordon was in place because I think Mr. Hoffman came off. Did we do that one?
I don't currently have a board member on it, and I don't currently have an opening. Hold on, let me pull that up.
Is that, I couldn't remember if that was a reappointment during an organizational meeting or not. I know Mr. Gordon is currently serving, but that was the only committee I had questions on. While Ms. Turner is looking at that, Mr. Chairman, I was texting PRA staff, but
Yeah.
also looking at the bylaws. What we have is the latest. It does state, 2 members will be setting members of the Madison County Board of Supervisors. So you could either choose to put that as part of your slate you vote on today, and that, or if there's another desire, essentially, you know, if you were looking to, wanting to appoint Mr. Jackson as one of your 2 appointments, then I would recommend then pull that off. I don't know when they meet next, but they would have to vote to update their bylaws to do
read.
that.
Board member or rep.
So those are 2 options. I guess the third option could be you can appoint your 2 board members today, 2 BOS members, and then if you want to make a change later on, you can do that. But
Yeah, well,
currently,
do
their
that
bylaws
and-
require 2 BOS members.
if we get the bylaws changed at Parks and Rec, you come off and, cause yeah. So, all right.
So for clarity, you're going to appoint 2 BOS members today,
Today,
as
yeah,
stated
we'll have
already. Okay.
Judd and,
All right.
yeah,
Thank you, Mr.
for
Chairman.
today, okay.
Okay, and looking at the Jefferson Area Criminal Justice Board that Mr. Weekly was referring to, Mr. Gordon is on it. I'm tracking that his term expires in 2028. So, yep, it's a 3-year term. And then Ms. Edwards is also on there, and hers will expire in 2026, in June, the end of June.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, so that takes care of that. So, going to, on the new business number 3.
You're going to take a vote to
Oh, yeah,
approve your
I'm sorry.
slate.
Thank you.
And I would just add, Mr. Chairman, just call it your 2026 committee liaison and other appointments as presented, and that should take care of that motion, sir.
Right.
Just to make sure everybody knows what they're voting on, are there any questions about who's filling in what spots we need to fill over any of those? Now would be the time to just make sure we're all coordination.
Everybody good?
And just a point of clarity too, Ms. Turner, once these appointments are made, we contact those committees so they're aware of it. Some may have orientation, some may not, but we'll give them your email information, so just be looking for your emails. Maybe there's an executive director or someone that'll be reaching out if there's an orientation for that certain committee.
All right. Yeah, it seems like last year and the years prior, I've gotten an email from you saying, here's the committees you are now on.
Yeah.
So that's part of.
Yeah, you'll get that for your confirmation, but she'll email on the other side, who's ever running that agency,
Yeah.
that you are the appointee, and they'll reach out accordingly.
Okay. So could I get a motion to approve the committee's liaisons and other appointments for calendar 2026 as discussed?
So moved.
Very good. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that?
Mr. Chairman, I think these are excellent appointments, and I think they'll take advantage of the skills and interests of our current and our new supervisors. So I think with excellent choices all the way around.
All right. Any further discussion? Very well. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations on your 6, 7, or 8 more committee assignments.
All right, and then, wanted to also make you all aware that COIA, the Conflict of Interest Act, you all are required to file a form every year, and I will be emailing those forms out to you today. And then there are various committees that are also required to file a form, so they'll also get notice. You have a month basically to complete that form. You can, it's due on February 2nd. Normally it's February 1st, but being that we started on the 2nd, it would be February 2nd. I'll send out some instructions with that. The really important thing is you can do it by hand or electronic. The only thing that has to be by hand is the signature at the end. If you are a board member who was served previously, let me know if you want to see the one you submitted last year. I'd be happy to show you that. That might help. When you fill it out, it is a little bit of a packet. And I'm here for any questions.
Let's see, is that the one we got to list all of our properties and all that stuff, huh?
Investments, all that.
Invest.
But you can look at the governors too.
Yeah?
It's public.
Yeah.
See what he or she's gonna, what she has in investments and kind of see if they're affected in any way.
All right. We got that to look forward to. What's that, Jim?
I said, just so she's not running any daycare or something.
Okay, number 4 there. I guess you're up, Jonathan.
Briefly, and then I'm gonna pull in my good wingman over here, Mr. Wright. So every 2 years, elected officials are required, and I think that also includes planning commissioners, a variety of commissions or boards, to have FOIA and COIA training, and we've thrown in ADA compliance training as well. So we like to set a date. It is recommendation by staff that, since planning commission should be a part of this, maybe try to do this at a joint meeting. I think we were looking at February, is that correct, Mr. Wright? Yeah, so if the board wishes to do that, I believe the joint meeting, looks like your cases may be a little light. I attended the agenda review the other day of workshops, things that will eventually end up in February. It's generally about an hour at most, I think, to do this. So it is a requirement, being we have 2 new supervisors. This is perfect timing as well, just do it all. And I think it's a 2-year cycle, correct? So there'll be training. The Commonwealth Attorney may be helping Sharon some of this.
By statute, she's the FOIA aficionado, and so she will either come do it with us, or she'll direct everybody to do some sort of online training. I'm not sure. Still looking out for her, but we'll invite her to this.
She was here for the last one, right?
She was.
Yeah.
It's good training to go through. I mean, we do it every day, and we're going to have it at our staff meeting, I think, in February, just to kind of remind folks, because I'm your designated person. But it's good for board members to know, because you may get things, and what do I do with this request? Whether it's verbal or in written form. So if you're fine with the joint meeting date, that is on, forgive me one second, for February. That would be February the 4th.
Okay.
And the thought would be to get through the cases first, and then we can go into your FOIA, COIA, and ADA. Yeah.
Right. Unless they want to know how to file, huh?
Well, Jonathan may have touched on, I think we're also gonna do a FOIA piece for county staff, just to make them aware of what the requirements are and what our county policy is for it, just to ensure uniformity of knowledge.
But you would suggest that if somebody emails us or sees us on the street and said, I want to file a FOIA request, we will direct them your way.
If you send them to our office, so they can call, they can drop in, or we have an online form that goes to Kim and I, so there's redundancy of an email coming in. I think we had one the other day. Your general ones that we get all the time is like, do you have any zoning violations at this address? Or, some solar company, hey, I want to see the last 90 days of solar permits. But certainly you can point them our way. If it's something hey, I'd like to give it back to them, we'll collect the information and do that. It's just easier to warehouse to make sure, one, we understand what the request is. We give them that information and we do so in a timely manner because it is a time period that you have to respond by.
And then, there's, the nuance can be on this is sheriff's department will handle their own,
Commonwealth's attorney handles their
Yeah.
own.
court will handle its own, and DSS is kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, sometimes they'll ask for Big Brother's help and.
But the Commissioner of the Revenue, would they, is it all constitutional officers?
They
handle
can
that?
choose to elect. Kim, correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong on this. The only two constitutional officers that wanted to handle their own FOIA would be the sheriff's office, Commonwealth's attorney.
Okay.
If we get those requests out of those other constitutional officers, we certainly will work with them because they have that information. And some things may be protected when it comes to taxes, so we certainly don't want to violate anything. But they have not chosen to handle directly. It's a joint effort for those other constitutional offices.
And it's just much better than, he's the FOIA administrator for the county, and for all the requests to flow through them, the thing you would worry about is that it slows you down and it overwhelms their office, but it's just the best way to do it, to ensure both sort of some subject matter expertise on it, handling it as a normal process. I think it's just by far the best way to do it, so that's why we flow everything through Jonathan.
Okay. All righty, so down to, that takes care of that, right?
Did they can just either.
Oh.
They don't need to vote on the February 4th? Do they need to vote or just long as they confirm? Yeah, if you're fine with the February 4th date,
all right, yeah, so,
we will contact the other committees that are required to make sure they're aware of that date as well.
all right. Okay, any further discussion on anything on anybody's mind?
I just want to, Mr. Chairman, just mention that welcome Mike and Nancy.
Yeah.
This is, for the last 2 years, I've never done this type of thing before, and it's one of the most rewarding things that you can do for the county. And welcome both of you, and here to help in any way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's the most important level of government. It really is.
Yeah.
And as long as we can make our Madison County strong, we can influence the other surrounding counties if we have a chance at this.
Gotta keep our eye on the General Assembly, keep your nose to the grindstone there. What are you shaking your head for, Jim?
I do want to say thank you to all the county employees that I've got, well, some I've known, but some I haven't known, and I just say thank you for all you do for us, to make our jobs easier too.
Thank you.
Or, more knowledgeable. Let's say that for all your help, so I appreciate it, and I say thank you to the board for welcoming.
All right, information and correspondence,
I do
anything
not
there?
have anything, no, sir.
The only thing I've got is, so we've got the joint meeting with the Planning Commission this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Did everybody get that notice in the packages down? All right. So back to public comment. We'll open it up for public comment again. Is anybody following us at all, Brian?
Hello? Yeah, we got Stephanie, Jim Alexander, and Tracy Gardner online. Stephanie Murray, congratulations to both Mr. Yao and Mr. Jewett. Nothing further.
Okay. Very well, then we will close public comment. We have no closed session, so Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, we are adjourned.
This conference is no longer being recorded.